Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Voices of Zara. Every story here hits deep. And today's story, this one is about family, betrayal, and the sweetest revenge I've ever witnessed. My name is Nicole, and I'm here to share how my monster-in-law tried to destroy my marriage on what should have been one of the happiest days of my life. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And to my loyal listeners, thank you for always being here. Your support means everything. Now, let me take you back to 6 months ago to my baby shower, where everything exploded in the most unexpected way. I should have seen it coming. Looking back now, all the signs were there. My mother-in-law, Patricia Hamilton, never liked me. From the moment her son, Michael, introduced us 5 years ago, she made it clear I wasn't good enough for her precious boy. I came from a working-class family. My dad was a mechanic. My mom was a nurse. We lived in a modest 3-bedroom house in a regular neighborhood. Patricia? She was old money. Country club memberships. Designer everything. A different luxury car for every day of the week. She lived in a mansion that had been in the Hamilton family for 3 generations. When Michael and I started dating, Patricia pulled him aside, right in front of me, and said, "Darling, she's lovely for practice, but you know you need to marry within our circle." I was 23 years old, fresh out of college, and absolutely humiliated. But Michael stood up for me. "Mom, I love Nicole. She's smart, kind, and amazing. If you can't see that, that's your problem, not mine." I loved him even more in that moment. We dated for 2 years despite Patricia's constant interference. She'd accidentally schedule family events during our dates. She'd introduce Michael to suitable women at every opportunity. She'd make snide comments about my clothes, my job, my family. When Michael proposed, Patricia actually cried, but not tears of joy. "You're making the biggest mistake of your life," she told him at Sunday dinner. "That girl is a gold digger. She sees our family name and our money, and she's trapped you." "I'm not trapped, Mom. I'm in love," Michael said firmly. "And if you can't support us, you don't have to come to the wedding." She came, of course, wore white, told anyone who would listen that I'd gotten pregnant to trap Michael. I wasn't pregnant, and gave a toast that was so backhanded, half the guests gasped. "To Nicole," she'd said, raising her champagne glass. May she prove me wrong about her intentions. But we were happy. Michael and I built a beautiful life together. He was a software engineer. I was a graphic designer. We bought a cute townhouse. We traveled. We laughed. And we ignored Patricia's poison as much as we could. Then, 3 years into our marriage, I got pregnant. Michael was ecstatic. I was terrified, not about being a mother, but about Patricia becoming a grandmother. And I was right to be afraid. The moment we told her, her face changed. Not to joy, to something darker. "Well," she said coldly, "I suppose this seals things, doesn't it? Now you're really trapped in this family." "Mom, that's enough," Michael warned. But Patricia wasn't done. Over the next few months, she ramped up her campaign against me. She told Michael's family I was spending all his money on baby furniture. We bought everything secondhand. She spread rumors at her country club that I'd gotten pregnant to secure my place in the family. She called me constantly with helpful advice that was actually thinly veiled criticism. "Are you sure you should be eating that? You're getting quite large. Have you thought about a nanny? Someone with proper credentials who can raise the baby correctly. I've hired a decorator for the nursery. Your taste is so limited." I tried to be patient. I tried to be understanding. Michael shut her down every time, but it was exhausting. My own mother noticed. "Nicole, honey, that woman is toxic. You need to set boundaries before this baby comes." "I know, Mom, but she's Michael's mother. I don't want to cause problems." "She's causing the problems," my mother said gently. "You're just trying to survive them." Then came the baby shower. My best friend, Sarah organized the baby shower. It was beautiful, held at a lovely garden venue, with flowers and pastel decorations and all our friends and family. I was 7 months pregnant, glowing with happiness, surrounded by people who loved me. Patricia showed up in head-to-toe black. "It's slimming," she said when someone asked about her outfit choice for a baby shower. She sat in the corner with Michael's aunt, whispering and shooting glances at me all afternoon. I tried to ignore it. This was my day, my celebration. We played games, opened gifts, ate cake. Everyone was having a wonderful time. Then came the moment for speeches. Sarah went first, making everyone cry with a beautiful speech about friendship and motherhood. My mom went next, telling embarrassing childhood stories and expressing how proud she was. Then Patricia stood up. My stomach dropped. She wasn't scheduled to speak. "I'd like to say a few words," she announced, her voice cutting through the cheerful atmosphere like a knife. Michael squeezed my hand. "Mom, maybe." "It won't take long," she interrupted, that cold smile on her face. She walked to the front of the garden, and everyone fell silent. "Nicole," she began, looking directly at me. "Today we celebrate the upcoming birth of my grandchild, my son's child, the next Hamilton heir." Something in her tone made my skin crawl. "I've watched you for 5 years now. Watched you wrap yourself around my son. Watched you worm your way into our family. Watched you play the perfect wife." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Michael stood up. "Mom, sit down." "Now." She ignored him. "But I've always seen through you. I've always known what you really are. A social climber. A gold digger. A woman who saw a wealthy man and decided to trap him." "That's enough," Michael shouted. But Patricia pulled an envelope from her designer purse. "This," she said, waving it in the air, "is a copy of divorce papers I had my attorney draw up. They include a very generous settlement, far more than someone like you deserves, and a custody arrangement that will ensure my grandchild is raised properly." The garden was dead silent. Everyone stared in horror. I sat frozen, my hand on my pregnant belly, unable to process what was happening. Patricia walked over and dropped the envelope in my lap. "I'm giving you a choice, Nicole. Sign these papers, take the money, and walk away from my son and my grandchild. Or don't sign them, and I will make your life a living hell. I will use every resource, every connection, every dollar I have to prove you're an unfit mother. I will destroy you." Tears streamed down my face. My mother jumped up, furious. "How dare you? This is her baby shower." "This is an intervention," Patricia said coldly. "Someone needs to save my son from this mistake." Michael grabbed his mother's arm. "We're leaving. Now. Don't ever speak to my wife again." But something in me snapped. Maybe it was the pregnancy hormones. Maybe it was 5 years of accumulated rage. Maybe it was the sheer audacity of this woman trying to destroy me at my own baby shower. I stood up. My hands were shaking, but my voice was steady. "Patricia," I said quietly. Everyone turned to look at me. "You made a mistake today." She laughed. "The only mistake was my son marrying you." "No," I said. "Your mistake was assuming I've been passive all these years because I'm weak. I haven't. I've been passive because I'm smart." I reached into my own bag and pulled out a thick envelope. "You see, Patricia, I'm not just a graphic designer. I'm also very good with computers, with research, with documentation." Her face flickered with uncertainty. "For 5 years, I've watched you spread lies about me, manipulate situations, try to sabotage my marriage. And for 5 years, I've been collecting evidence." I opened my envelope. Screenshots of texts where you told Michael's brother that I'm only with Michael for money. Recordings of phone calls where you told your friends I trapped your son with a pregnancy. Emails where you tried to bribe our couple's therapist to tell Michael to leave me. Proof that you tried to have me fired from my job by spreading rumors to my boss. The color drained from her face. But the best part? I continued, my voice growing stronger. 3 months ago, I hired a private investigator. Want to know what he found? I pulled out photographs. These are pictures of you with a man named Richard Chun, your accountant, the same accountant you've been having an affair with for 7 years. Patricia stumbled backward. Michael's aunt gasped. The same affair you've been hiding from your husband, Michael's father. The man who's been faithfully married to you for 38 years while you've been secretly seeing Richard every Tuesday and Thursday at the Riverside Hotel. Michael stared at his mother in shock. Mom, is this true? Patricia's mouth opened and closed like a fish. But wait, there's more, I said, channeling every ounce of calm I could muster. The investigation also revealed that you've been embezzling money from the family foundation. Small amounts at first, but over 7 years, it adds up to nearly $400,000. Money that was supposed to go to charity. Money you've been funneling into a secret account. Money you've been using to fund your affair and your shopping habits. I handed the evidence to Michael. It's all here. Bank statements, transfer records, everything. Patricia collapsed into a chair, her face ashen. So here's my offer, Patricia, I said, standing over her. You will apologize to me right now, in front of everyone here. You will go home and confess everything to your husband. You will pay back every penny you stole from that foundation. And you will never, ever interfere in my marriage or my child's life again. And if I don't, she whispered, then I give all of this to the police, the IRS, and every newspaper in this city. Your reputation, your marriage, your freedom, all of it will be gone. The garden was so quiet you could hear birds chirping in the distance. Patricia looked up at me with hatred and fear in her eyes. You've been planning this? No, I said honestly. I've been preparing for this. There's a difference. I hoped I'd never need to use any of it. I hoped you'd eventually accept me. But you just couldn't help yourself, could you? Michael stood frozen, looking between his mother and me, processing everything. Apologize, I said firmly. Now, Patricia's voice came out as a croak. I'm sorry. Louder. And mean it. She stood on shaking legs. I'm sorry, Nicole. For everything. I was wrong about you. You're a good woman. A good wife. You'll be a good mother. Tears were running down her face now. And you'll stay away from my family? Yes, she whispered. Yes, I'll stay away. I picked up her divorce papers and tore them in half. Good. Now get out of my baby shower. She practically ran from the garden, her designer heels clicking frantically on the stone path. The moment she was gone, the entire garden erupted in applause. Sarah rushed over and hugged me. My mother was crying. Michael's aunt, who apparently had her own issues with Patricia, stood up and cheered. But Michael just stared at me. After the guests left, Michael and I sat alone in the garden. He held my envelope, flipping through the evidence with a stunned expression. How long have you known? He finally asked. About the affair? 3 months. About the embezzlement? 2 months. About everything else? Years. Why didn't you tell me? I took his hand. Because she's your mother. Because I didn't want to be the one to destroy your relationship with her. Because I kept hoping she'd change. But she didn't. No, I said sadly. She didn't. He looked at me with a mixture of love and awe. You've been protecting me this whole time, even while she was attacking you. I love you, I said simply. And I love our family. I wasn't going to let her destroy us without a fight. What you did today, Nicole, that was incredible and terrifying. Remind me never to cross you. I laughed and he pulled me close. What happens now? I asked. Now. He sighed. Now I go talk to my father. He deserves to know the truth. And I need to make sure Mom gets help. This isn't just about punishment. She clearly has issues she needs to address. And us. He kissed my forehead. We're going to have a baby. We're going to be a family, and we're going to set very clear boundaries with my mother. If she wants to be part of our child's life, she'll have to earn that privilege. After genuine therapy, genuine amends, and genuine change. That's fair, I said. That evening, Michael went to his parents' house alone. I stayed home, emotionally exhausted. He called me 3 hours later. How did it go? I asked. Dad's devastated, angry, hurt, but he thanked you for telling us the truth. And your mom? She's broken. She admitted everything, begged Dad for forgiveness. He asked her to move out temporarily while he figures out what he wants to do. I'm sorry, I said, and I meant it. Despite everything, I never wanted to destroy his family. Don't be sorry. You saved me from years of her manipulation. You protected our family. You're my hero. The next few weeks were complicated. Patricia moved in with her sister. She started therapy. She began the process of paying back the embezzled money. Michael's father, Robert, called me personally. Nicole, he said, his voice heavy with emotion. I owe you an apology. I always knew Patricia was difficult, but I enabled her behavior. I should have protected you. I'm sorry. Thank you, Robert. That means a lot. And I want you to know that grandchild you're carrying, I intend to be the best grandfather I can be. If you'll let me. We'd love that, I said, crying happy tears. My own baby shower became legendary. Sarah said at least 20 people asked her for the full story. The video someone recorded of Patricia's public humiliation apparently circulated through their country club. Patricia became a pariah in her social circle. The affair scandal destroyed her reputation. Several of her so-called friends cut her off completely. Part of me felt bad for her, but a bigger part of me felt free. For 5 years, I'd lived under her shadow, trying to prove myself worthy. Now, I didn't have to prove anything to anyone. 2 months later, our daughter was born. Emma Rose Hamilton came into the world at 3:47 a.m., screaming her lungs out, perfect and beautiful and everything we dreamed of. Michael cried. I cried. My parents cried. Robert came to the hospital and held his granddaughter with such tenderness it broke my heart. She's perfect, he whispered. Absolutely perfect. Patricia wasn't there. We'd made it clear she wasn't welcome until she made real progress in therapy and genuinely changed her behavior. 3 months passed. 3 months of sleepless nights, endless diapers, and the most profound love I'd ever experienced. Then Patricia called. Nicole, she said, her voice different somehow. Softer, humbler. I know I have no right to ask this, but I'm calling to see if there's any way I could meet my granddaughter. I didn't answer right away. I've been in therapy 3 times a week, she continued. Individual therapy and couples therapy with Robert. We're working on our marriage. I've been working on myself, trying to understand why I acted the way I did. And what have you learned? I asked. She took a shaky breath. That I was terrified. Terrified of losing my son. Terrified of not being important anymore. Terrified that someone would take my place in his life. So I attacked you instead of dealing with my own insecurity. That doesn't excuse what you did. I know. Nothing excuses it. But I'm trying to explain it. To take responsibility. Nicole, I was cruel to you. Vindictive. I tried to destroy your marriage and take your child. There's no apology big enough for that. I closed my eyes. No, there isn't. But I'm asking anyway. Not for forgiveness. I don't deserve that. But for a chance. A chance to meet Emma. A chance to maybe, someday, be the grandmother she deserves. I looked at Michael, who'd been listening on speaker. He shrugged, leaving the decision to me. 1 visit, I said finally. 1 supervised visit. Here at our house. For 1 hour. And if you say or do anything at all, that's inappropriate, you leave and don't come back. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you so much. The following Saturday, Patricia arrived at our house. She looked different, older somehow, more real. She wasn't wearing her usual designer armor, just a simple dress and minimal makeup. She brought a small gift, a handmade baby blanket. I made it myself, she said quietly. I've been taking a crafting class, trying to do things with my hands. It's not much, but it's beautiful, I said, and I meant it. We sat in the living room. Patricia held Emma carefully, tears streaming down her face. Hello, sweet girl, she whispered. I'm your grandma, and I'm so sorry I missed your birth. I'm so sorry for everything. Emma grabbed Patricia's finger and held on, completely unaware of the complicated adult drama that surrounded her existence. For 1 hour, we sat together. Patricia asked questions about Emma, her feeding schedule, her sleep patterns, whether she was a happy baby. Normal grandmother questions. She didn't criticize, didn't make snide comments, didn't try to take over. When the hour was up, she handed Emma back to me. Thank you, she said, for letting me meet her, for giving me this chance. This doesn't fix everything, I said carefully. I know, and it's going to take a long time to rebuild trust. I know that too. But I hesitated. But if you keep working on yourself, if you respect our boundaries, if you show up as the person you're trying to become instead of the person you were, maybe there's a path forward. She nodded, crying openly now. That's all I can ask for. Over the next 6 months, Patricia slowly became part of our lives again. She attended therapy religiously. She and Robert renewed their wedding vows in a small, private ceremony. She paid back every penny she'd embezzled and did community service. Most importantly, she respected our boundaries. She called before visiting. She asked permission before offering advice. She apologized when she slipped back into old patterns. It wasn't perfect. There were still tense moments. Still times when I had to remind her that I was Emma's mother, not her. But gradually, something shifted. Patricia started showing up as a grandmother, not as a competitor. She'd come over to help with laundry while I napped. She'd bring meals without criticizing my cooking. She'd tell Emma stories about Michael's childhood without comparing me to his past girlfriends. My mother and Patricia even became not friends exactly, but cordial. They attended a new grandmother's class together at the community center. Your mother-in-law is really trying, my mom told me one day. I can see the effort. It must be hard for her, changing who she's been for so long. It is hard, I agreed. But she's doing it. That counts for something. One afternoon, Patricia came over while Emma was napping. She asked if we could talk. I wanted to explain something, she said. Not as an excuse, but so you understand. Okay, I said cautiously. My mother was difficult. She controlled everything about my life. Who I married, where I lived, how I raised Michael. I spent my whole life trying to be what she wanted. And when she died, I suddenly had all this freedom, but I didn't know what to do with it. So I became her. I became the controlling mother-in-law I'd sworn I'd never be. She looked at me with genuine sadness. I saw you young, creative, free, and I was jealous. You had the life I'd never allowed myself to have. And instead of being happy for you, for Michael, I tried to tear you down. That's honest, I said quietly. The baby shower, when you stood up to me with all that evidence, part of me was humiliated. But part of me was relieved. Someone finally stopped me. Someone finally said, enough. You freed me from being that terrible person. I didn't do it to free you, I said honestly. I did it to protect my family. I know, and that makes it even more powerful. She reached for my hand hesitantly. I let her take it. Nicole, you're the daughter-in-law I should have celebrated. You're strong, smart, loyal, and you love my son completely. I'm sorry I couldn't see that until you forced me to. For the first time, I saw Patricia not as a villain, but as a deeply flawed. hurting woman who'd made terrible choices. Thank you for saying that, I said. Can I be honest about something else? Always. That baby blanket I made? I've been making one every week. I have 30 of them now. Different colors, different patterns. I keep making them because it reminds me that I want to be the kind of grandmother who makes things for her granddaughter, who shows up with love, not manipulation. She pulled out her phone and showed me pictures. Dozens of beautiful handmade blankets. I'm donating them to the hospital, she said. To the NICU. To babies who need them. I thought maybe I could turn all those years of selfishness into something good. I looked at this woman, this complicated, damaged, trying woman, and felt something I never thought I'd feel. Compassion. That's a beautiful thing to do, I said. Your daughter saved me, Patricia said softly. Before she was even born, she saved me. Because I couldn't let her grow up with the grandmother I was. I had to become someone better. That was 6 months ago. Today, Emma is 9 months old. She's crawling, babbling, and bringing joy to everyone who meets her. Patricia comes to visit twice a week. She brings those blankets she makes. She plays with Emma. She asks about my design work and actually listens to my answers. Robert is a devoted grandfather. He and Patricia are rebuilding their marriage, slowly but surely. My relationship with Patricia will never be perfect. There's too much history, too much hurt. But it's real now, honest, built on boundaries and respect rather than manipulation and fear. Sometimes I think about that baby shower, about Patricia dropping those divorce papers in my lap, about the moment I stood up and fought back. I don't regret it, not for a second, but I'm also glad I gave her a chance to change, because Emma deserves to know both her grandmothers, and Patricia deserves the chance to be better. As for that envelope of evidence, I still have it, locked in a safe deposit box. Michael asked me once if I'll ever destroy it. No, I said, not out of spite, but as a reminder, to her, to me, to everyone, that I will protect my family. Always. He kissed me. You're incredible. You know that. I'm just a mother, I said. We do what we have to do. Last week, Patricia brought over a gift, a shadow box with photos of our family, Michael and me, Emma, both sets of grandparents. In the center, she'd written a quote, "Family isn't about perfection. It's about showing up, even when it's hard." Do you like it? She asked nervously. I smiled. I love it. And I meant it. Thank you for listening to my story, dear friends. If you're dealing with a difficult mother-in-law, or family drama, or anyone trying to control your life, remember, you have the right to set boundaries. You have the right to protect yourself and your family. You have the right to demand respect. But also remember, people can change. Not always, not easily, but sometimes if they want it badly enough, they can become better versions of themselves. The choice of whether to give them that chance, that's yours to make. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe to Voices of Zara, and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay strong, set boundaries, and never let anyone make you feel small.